Chapter 8. The Owners. "Mom!" Patrick yelled. He rushed to the window, almost throwing himself out. He saw his mom below. She was still holding tight to the rope. She knocked against the old stone side of the hotel. "I'm fine, but I can't pull myself up," Mom shouted through the rain. "You and Natalie are going to have to come down alone. Wait until I get to the bottom." "Okay," Patrick called. When he turned to the room, though, Jason and Rachel stood, petrified. "They are awake," Rachel said, voice trembling. Boom! 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 What sounded like giants' footsteps started in the hallway. They shook the floor. A rotten smell wafted into the room. "It's almost midnight. They are coming," Jason said. Patrick grabbed Natalie's arm. "You go first." Natalie's face was nearly white as she looked out the window. "Are you crazy?" she squeaked. Maybe she isn't completely fearless after all, Patrick thought. He didn't blame her. "I'll be right after you," he said. He looked down, just as Mom safely jumped from the rope to the ground. "See? Mom did it. It's easy." Natalie shook her head fast and hard. "No way! I'm not doing it!" Boom! A footstep sounded near the door. Patrick felt desperate. "What if I go first and you follow? That way I can catch you if you start to fall." Natalie swallowed. Then nodded. Patrick climbed on the windowsill and held the rope. Below, Mom yelled, "You can do it, honey!" Patrick gripped the tied bedsheets and closed his eyes. Then he swung down from the sill. He quickly wrapped his feet around the rope. He shifted down till he hit one of the knots. He let out a sigh. "See?" Patrick yelled up to his sister, who was leaning out the window. Rain splattered on his glasses, but he didn't dare let go of the rope to wipe them. "Now it's your turn!" "We'll help lower her!" Jason yelled over a clap of thunder. Patrick nodded, although he doubted they could see him. He climbed down one more knot so that Natalie would fit on the rope. "Patrick!" Natalie yelled. "Don't let me drop!" "Never!" he yelled back. He knew he would do anything to keep his little sister safe. He saw one of her legs, then the other, come over the windowsill. Jason's and Rachel's faces appeared as they helped Natalie onto the rope. With one hand, Patrick guided her foot to the first knot. She put her other foot there, too. Then she grabbed the rope with both hands, right by the window. "Yes, Natalie!" Patrick whooped. "I did it!" she said, laughing. I mean, almost all by myself." "Now for the easy part. Let's climb down," said Patrick. Just as he said that, the lights in the room flickered off. A bolt of lightning hit the top of the hotel. The rotten smell got worse, even through the rain. Patrick saw a shadow darken the window. "They're here!" he heard Jason yell. Then Natalie was yanked up from the rope. Chapter 9. A Promise. "No!" Patrick shouted. He pushed off the rope knot and launched himself through the air. He grabbed onto Natalie's leg, but instead of pulling her down, Patrick could feel himself being pulled up. A ferocious growl echoed through the night. Patrick looked toward the window. Huge, gnarled, gray fingers wrapped around Natalie's arm. The Owners. Patrick could hear Jason and Rachel struggling against the monsters. "We can't," Jason said. Rachel shouted, and then there was a thump. Patrick didn't know what to do. His mom was yelling from the ground. Natalie twisted and screamed as they were lifted closer to the room. The inhuman growls from within made Patrick want to close his eyes. And never opened them again. It seemed, pretty soon, that he and Natalie would join Jason and Rachel as eternal guests of the hotel. At least there are other kind spirits, he thought. Maybe we can band together and... But then Patrick realized, I'm not alone. We aren't alone. There are people here who want to help. He took a deep breath and yelled over the rain, I invite into our room all the people who were trapped in this hotel against their will and want to make sure no one else is. A huge rush of air blasted through the window. The owners above let out a roar so fierce, Patrick almost let go of Natalie to cover his ears. He heard Jason yell, Keep it up! Rachel's voice followed, This is going to work! Patrick heard a loud bang. Suddenly, he and Natalie were plummeting fast. But just as suddenly, they stopped short. Patrick looked up. Jason and Rachel were leaning out of the window. They each held one of Natalie's arms. They moved her back over to the rope. Natalie grabbed on, and Patrick did the same. Go! You can make it! Jason said. Behind the twins, Patrick could see monstrous shadows moving. Clearly, the fight with the owners wasn't over. His heart sank as he remembered that Jason and Rachel couldn't leave with them. What about you? He called. Rachel smiled, but it shook slightly. We'll be okay. We pushed the owners back. That's never happened before. Now go! Fighting back tears, Patrick climbed down the rope. At the end, he jumped. His legs buckled as he hit the ground. Natalie followed after, tumbling into Mom's outstretched arms. Patrick rushed over. The three of them hugged tightly. Then Mom pulled back. Come on, she said. We don't know if something can still grab us here. Let's get out of this town. Mom and Natalie ran to the car, but Patrick paused to gaze back at their room. The struggle still raged. Lights flashed. Sounds shrieked. As he looked, though, Jason and Rachel appeared in the window. They both wore sad smiles as they waved goodbye. Thank you, Patrick called. Thunder crashed again. Lightning hit the hotel roof, causing sparks to fly. I'll come back for you. I promise. Someone grabbed his hand, and he looked down to see Natalie. She yelled, Me too! Patrick smiled and squeezed her hand. His little sister was pretty okay. And just like that, Rachel and Jason blinked out of sight. Mom pulled the car up, waving her hand for them to hurry. Patrick and Natalie jumped in, and Mom peeled away from Raven's Pass Hotel. Patrick looked back again. The eerie lights still pulsed from their room. Clouds roiled overhead. The thunderstorm seemed fixed above the hotel. Mom drove through Raven's Pass, quiet and empty. They went down the lane with the trees. They passed the sign that welcomed them to town. No one spoke for a while. Finally, Mom said, "Well, we have to make a decision. Do we still head to Yellowstone? Or should we find somewhere not evil to spend the night? And then figure out how to get Rachel, Jason, and all the other innocent people out of that hotel? It's up to you two. If you never want to go back there again, I understand." In the rearview mirror, Mom locked eyes with Patrick. "I'm so proud of you. No matter what," she said softly. "Always remember that." Patrick felt tears threatening to spill again. He turned away toward the window. After he got a hold of himself, he looked at Natalie. She nodded sharply. "It's no contest," Patrick said. "A promise is a promise. We're going back to Raven's Pass."